Hey, gang. It's Wednesday. My hair's done. Song's done. Time to translate Trump and figure out what this guy's doing. Wednesday before Thanksgiving. If you're on the road, give us a call. Don't text. Don't get in the chat. Give us a call at 1-888 Yergz or 844 gay LGBT. That's right. Gay LGBT. Spell it out. 7 letters, 7 digits. Got some coffee. I've got morning motivation set up. A conservative to help match our co-host today. I think I actually heard him check in. There he is. So bring out Philip Blackett, our resident Trump translator.
Good morning.
Oh, there's an echo. Hold on. I've got speakers turned on. There we go. Good morning. Happy early Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Wednesday. Has this always been a drinking day for you? Or tonight?
No, not really. But I mean, I have my water next to me though, so we're good to go.
Well, that's drinking, I guess.
Listen, to each his or her own, whatever gets you through the day.
Exactly. So I told you in the Facebook chat yesterday, actually late last night. I talked to a podcast and radio producer about us, but particularly about the Wednesday show. You, and she's real interested in that.
No pressure.
Yeah. Well, it's good and it's bad because it's more exposure, but I don't think they're going to simulcast it, which is what I would prefer. Yeah, I'm trying to develop the audience interaction further. We've been having some really good chat over the past week, and want to turn them into phone calls where applicable. Some of them, the chat's coming from Europe.
Okay.
They can't call the 800 number, but at least we're getting some really good interaction. And this company is called Voice America. They have all kinds of broad spectrum of topics on 3 different channels: influencer, variety, and something else, health. I think they had a bunch of different. They had a sports channel that they canceled, which is odd because we're starting one in 2025.
Okay.
And they had another one that they canceled that we would have also fit on as far as politics goes. Educational.
That's important too.
Yeah. Oh, business. Business encompassing and influencer, which is, I just think the influencer one, the whole influencer in general, I think finally a bubble that's burst. I'm on TikTok, and that's why you should follow me. What? No.
That's the pitch right there. Yeah. Hi, I'm on TikTok. You should follow me.
And I have a lot higher value of self-worth than what I really exists, which is good. I mean, God love the confidence, but loss of touch with reality.
I mean, there's only one man that I feel like can actually pull that one off. Like, hey, I'm so-and-so, follow me. But clearly we're not going to make this a Bible. We're not going to make this a Bible study.
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say, was that a transition to Donald Trump?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. No. Well, that is what we're here for. But one other thing to check in. I don't know if you're watching on video, then right above my right shoulder is a QR code. Buy Blackett. That is actually, if you don't have the QR code, you can get all of Philip's merch by going to buy, as in purchase, BUY, Blackett, the color, with ETT, Echo Tango Tango, buyblackett.com/Yergz. That one you know how to spell by now. and mugs, shirts, coasters. What else?
Hoodies, t-shirts,
Yeah, yeah,
um, you know, all different types of collections and that sort. And by the way, like Black Friday is literally a couple days away, so we all
right.
know that people are gonna be thinking to themselves, "What am I gonna get my friends and family for Christmas gifts and holidays?" This would be a good website to check out.
What is the speaking of hoodies?
Hmm.
What was the sweatshirt that I liked on Facebook? You did a specific post for this. Maybe it's a new addition to the collection,
Hmm.
or um,
Oh, was it the lift heavy shit one?
yeah, 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 yeah. It's
And
and
it's
16 inches.
SHT, so I don't get you in trouble. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
literally
but
three.
it's like LFT,
Yeah.
HVY, SHT, and that's exactly what I knew it meant. That's exactly how I said it. But what was it's looked like they were like something from like the periodic table or something like that. What's kind of the motif of the graphics on it?
Well, that's kind of the theme with Buy Black. We try to come up with funny things that are tongue in cheek, that are not just out there. It's a little more subtle, right? So it
Mhm.
literally isn't like, that's the lazy part if I wanted to spell it out. But
Right,
yeah, just something to just like three letters for each one. And if you just sound it out, you hear what we're saying
right,
without us
sure,
actually saying it.
right,
So that's kind of the creativity we're trying to go with this.
right.
And especially at the time when we did that video, it's like the family was at a Planet Fitness, like working out. So they were lifting heavy, you know what? So that's from our popular Gym Rats collection for those who love to work out, lift
Yeah,
weights, get
I'm
fit, that sort of
getting
thing.
back into that. It's been a rough year and a half for things like that,
Yep. New
and
Year's Day is coming around soon. So you know what
uh,
that means.
yeah, but I kind of don't want to go back to the gym now because of all the people that come back in for the New Year's resolution and then are gone in a month.
Well,
I'd rather
that's all
come
you
back
got to
in.
do. Just wait 3 or 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden people get amnesia and they revert back to their old ways. And
Yep.
then you got an empty gym again.
Yeah. Lars is speaking of chat from Europe. Yeah. Lars is checking in. He's a day trading buddy of mine.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's. I think he's goofing on the. I'm trying to read the comment, and I think he's goofing on the influencer thing we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Yeah,
So
there's
like
a
at
lot of
least
fun.
with him, it could have been something with, since he day trades, it could have been like, hey, like I made X amount of money in like 10 minutes today. You should probably
Oh
follow
yeah,
me if you care about making money. And then be
and
like, I
don't
might do it. I'd be interested I'd be curious.
right. I don't doubt, and in fact, I played that card too. 21 years in the Secret Service with a political science and history degree. I
Hmm.
think the things we talk about today, I at least know a little bit about. And there's plenty of people out there, but some 18-year-old kid that uses some skin moisturizer
Hmm.
to keep his or her face moist.
Hmm.
You're 18. How dry is your skin going to be?
Mm-mm. But funny enough, those are probably the same people that are like advising Kamala Harris's campaign. So
I think that was part of the problem. I don't doubt that at all. No. I think that was a huge part of the
as
problem.
James Carville would say, those snot nosed youngsters.
Yeah. Well,
I love
did
that
you
guy.
did you hear that story about that was one of the reasons why she didn't go on Joe Rogan?
Because they told her not to.
Because first of all, because people that she was paying to consult
She paid a lot of
would
people, by the way.
would
That's
not
a whole
have
nother thing.
been paid, would not have been paid for that appearance.
Hmm.
Because if you're my media consultant, you
Mm,
get a commission
mm,
on the things you set up, and they pay to
hmm.
have me on their show.
Hmm.
Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan.
Yep.
He doesn't pay squat.
Mm-mm.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised because I know being in that, I know that's how some of it works. There's probably people that pay to be on his show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the lesser known guests that we've never heard, like, okay, this guy's a fill in because Howard Stern's not available or whoever.
No,
But
but it makes sense. It's like, listen, that sounds like a potential conflict of interest
yeah,
where if I'm
100%.
being paid based on where I place you, that I'm caring more about my pocketbook or my wallet rather than helping my candidate win. And if
Yeah.
that's a play, then that's probably not a good person to have on the team.
Yeah. I'm all about paying subcontractors in some sort of pay for performance model,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't have that conflict of interest.
Because they even talk about like media buyers too. Like I remember reading about that. It's like, yeah, like we can't, if I don't put your ads in certain places, I don't get paid. So they were making the story. I forgot what show I was watching it on. It's like we put a bunch of ads in Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida was someone who was just like, that's not really a state we should really be hitting on. We should really be focused on these swing states. But we had to put some ads in there because if I don't put ads there, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
Not trying to get people to vote for her. It's more so like I have a point of action for myself. It's
Yeah.
my own
There's so
self-interest.
much in our whole election system with regards to money that needs to change.
Like I remember seeing, like to Lars's point on the comment, shout outs to him. I remember seeing influencers, quote unquote, on Instagram, like complaining, like top Instagram influencers, like hundreds of thousands of followers, if not millions, are saying, "Yo, why did I get hit up by Kamala's team asking me to try to shout her out or have her on my show? I'm not trying to be hit on this. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get involved with
And, and,
politics."
and meanwhile, I don't have that number yet. I get that.
And on top
But
of that, you had some people saying, "Look, like they're telling viewers what Kamala is willing to pay to be able to have her on the show or shout her out, like for tens of thousands of dollars, if not up to 40,000 or more."
yeah,
You
no.
know, like this year, if you were an influencer, it would have been a great time for you to make money off of Kamala's campaign. I'll tell you that. You don't have to be Beyonce or Oprah to make some decent money. It sounds like.
So she would have still been paying if I was a better demographic as far as my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
She would have paid me to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Potentially, yeah. Or just a sense if you would have done it according to her rules or her team's rules.
Let's see. Yeah, getting back to Joe Rogan,
Yep.
he was setting up his first of all, his show is 3 hours.
Yep.
She did 3 hours with Howard Stern.
She did.
Joe Biden started that.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted Hillary in the worst way.
Mm-hmm.
He back in the 16 election.
Mm-hmm.
And for as much as he has turned into an interview type show,
Mm-hmm.
just like Joe Rogan started as,
Yeah.
and Howard got away from the shock radio that he did while on terrestrial radio. He still had the rap,
Mm-hmm.
and so let's call it what it was. Hillary didn't go on his show because it wasn't her scene,
Mm-hmm.
and he really wanted to help her beat Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about having 3 million listeners, all of whom are paid because you're on one platform,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like so many of the rest of us that have the free version and then a paid version,
Right.
later or fewer times during the week or whatever. And so he wanted to have Hillary on. She continually said no / blew him off.
Mm-hmm.
And then earlier
Which pause for the cause real quick.
yeah,
Like just what you're saying, right? Can we just give a quick 30 seconds to think? you have to really be on to something, Ross. If you're gonna say, "Hey, Howard Stern, 3 million listeners, paid," not my cup of tea, not worth my time. Let me go for somebody else, and I'll come back
Yeah.
if I have time.
And Hillary made that mistake before. Wisconsin, where she didn't campaign because she thought she had it locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes back to, I know Hillary Clinton. You know that. She's not a stupid person
She's not.
at all. And I
I
think
would have voted for her over Kamala.
well, so did a lot of other Americans, actually, if you saw those total numbers. And I think she is another one that's guilty of listening to third graders. She's got these kids following her around that are part of her, a big active part of her staff.
Mm-hmm.
And they put so much stock into it, they don't challenge it.
Yeah.
Like, you are my one Trump guy on the Mastiff Media team.
Yeah.
But I've got neighbors that are Trump supporters.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're a little bit more, quote unquote, in touch because they're not a journalist. They're not Harvard educated.
Mm-hmm.
And 900 other demographics that are different between them and you.
Right.
So I'd be stupid for not at least also, they're right next door. They're in my neighborhood.
Talk to
I'd be
them.
stupid for not, yeah, exactly.
Listen to them.
And I think Hillary and Kamala both made that mistake of not doing that on various people, whether it's their staff or listening too much to staff or listening to not enough of the staff, whatever. But so Howard wanted Hillary, didn't get her right away. She would eventually come on, but it was just recently. And then this past late spring, early summer, was sometime before the debate.
Yeah.
Howard comes on a Friday. He's not on Fridays anymore. He's Monday through Thursday. Fridays they do best ofs or some other up and coming shock jock wannabe. And he's on Friday. And he goes, "Hey, everybody, it's Howard. We're live today. This is really me. And so is the person that's with us today. I'm telling you with a straight face and very serious, he is not an imposter, an impersonator. With me today is the President of the United States." And Joe Biden was there. And he sat there for 3 hours talking about his life. And Howard's goal with that was to just make him more personable and more human.
Yep.
Didn't talk politics at all. And Biden's ratings boosted. And then he did like a week-long trip with no sleep to Europe and wherever. Got COVID or the flu. Came back and did a debate with Donald Trump that was just a disaster. But then also this summer, he interviewed Kamala. That got a boost. And sometime in there, I think Hillary was actually a couple of years ago, but clearly when she was no longer on the scene. And it was a great conversation. I've seen all three of the interviews, and it's Howard Stern. He's a great interviewer and does amazing research into, to talk about their lives. He went back and looked at a bunch of different things to make a conversation with crazy Uncle Joe an interesting one. But so a friend of Lars has 12 million followers. Got a DM from her campaign team. He said, "I don't need the money, and I want to speak the truth no matter how much money you offer me." Yeah, that's what we need. That's what I was here for. That's what I reached out to Debbie Powell, who ran against Rick Scott here in Florida. I reached out to Colin Allred in Texas. And not just because everybody accuses me of being a libtard, but because I did not like their opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamala was also one. Now I get it. With my numbers and with my amount of experience and lack thereof, she's not going to say, "Okay, Yergz, what time is good for you?" But the least you can do is email me back and say no.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Debbie Powell's case, email me back and say yes, like you did, and then follow up with the appropriate staffer. We've got WTAN, and I told them, I said, right now, the bigger conglomerate of stations and the larger audience is only on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Because while I am daily, some of these stations only carry me weekly. And so when I schedule them, I put them all on top of each other and put
Mm-hmm.
everybody on a Friday first until that's filled. And then we move to like Wednesday and Monday and then Tuesday and Thursday. But at that time, everything was just Fridays. And I said, WTAN, we're new with them, but they estimate that with the 4 stations their network has, we've got 30,000 listeners right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to Orlando. It goes down to Sarasota and up to Brooksville and encompasses Tampa, Clearwater, and St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting her base of those 2 liberal counties, Tampa being in Hillsborough and Clearwater and St. Pete being in Pinellas. But she's also getting what I am seeing are slightly purple, not just red,
Mm-hmm.
in the surrounding counties because those counties are building out.
Right.
Not everybody's in Tampa anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a bunch of different articles. I think you even brought one up to us too, or maybe it was Blake, about how part of the really purple part of the state is between me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Me down here in Tampa and the I-4 corridor that goes up to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I guess we're all going to get stuck with Trump and Scott and Ted Cruz. But anyway, so I get it. Why do it? Because it's a lot of money for 90% of the people. Yeah, I mean, I would probably take the money. I mean, I'm not going to say yes or no because I think there is an ethical issue there. And like, do I want to get involved in that?
Well, I think it's one where you have to think about, it's like, okay, if you took the money, is it taking the money to do an interview and say, listen, you're going to come on my interview. The money's going to help support our show. Thank you so much. You're going to get an opportunity to speak to our audience, which covers these demographics, these areas, and that sort. I'm going to ask you questions and that sort of thing. It's just going to be a good show. That's one way of doing it. But if it's one where it's like, okay, we have to fabricate this a certain way to match the candidate and what he or she prefers, and you can only ask these type of questions and you can't mention these type of things, and the things you really want to ask, you can't do that, and there should be an implied endorsement from doing the show, all that for X amount of money. That's where I could see a lot of people saying, you know what, this doesn't sound like my cup of tea. I want to be able to ask my questions, say what I want to say, kind of like what Joe Rogan said about, like, get to know you as a human being.
Yeah.
3 hours. Don't cut it short. Don't rush me.
Well, that was the other thing that
And just go from there.
The Harris campaign said they only wanted an hour.
It's not your show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah,
it's not your show.
Do you know who he is and what you're signing up for?
Everybody else did 3 hours. Why should we make an exception for you? What, you can't do 3 hours?
Right.
Should
But
we prop things
then
up for
she
you to
can
make you feel like you can do it? Come
what
on, Kamala,
I
you
mean,
can do
then
it.
then she can turn around and do 3 hours with Howard Stern.
So what's the difference then? What's the difference between Howard and Joe?
Yeah. Yeah. I
But then again, on top
Someone
of that, it's
feels
like, look, your opponent did 3 hours with Joe. How
Yeah,
can you not do it? What's wrong?
right. And whether it actually had anything to do with it or not,
Hmm.
just to hear everybody saying that was the straw that broke the camel's back, that it was his appearance on Joe Rogan that did it, that's got to sting.
Oh yeah, because what happened was, Ross, if we had a 3 hour televised interview, you got a lot of things you need to talk about to fill those 3 hours.
Right,
So that's a great way, just like with Howard Stern, to make somebody be more personable, more relatable, more likable.
right.
Anybody can fill in 10 minutes real quick and they can make it slant it to the way you want it to be. You're in and out, and you got some clips you can run on social media later. It's a whole nother thing. It's like, okay, we're going to talk for 3 hours on a number of topics just to get to know you. No pressure. And not only did Trump did it with Joe Rogan, but also his vice president candidate, Vance, did it. So that was, to
And
me, the double whammy.
yeah, and Elon Musk. Now
And
Musk
Elon
was on
Musk. Yep.
before. Musk was on back when he bought Twitter,
Bobby
because
Kennedy did it.
that's what I thought was despicable when Musk fired that girl live on Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
That's why
I get it.
you fired a girl who did nothing but do her job, her time at Twitter, just because upper bosses were incompetent. This is who you fire. But once Musk started supporting Trump, he was on again as a backer of the Trump campaign,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, was Kennedy and Vance and everybody. So I mean, it was multiple whammy, not just double.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I don't know that the Harris campaign, if she and Waltz would have gone on, who would their Musk and Kennedy be? Like, who are the other two people that they send
Yep.
that even have? I mean, it's not the best name recognition, but it's name recognition.
Some sort of cachet.
It regardless of the type, there's no bad press in politics.
You're gonna have Pelosi on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Bring
somebody.
Joe Biden on there. That
Yeah,
would have been interesting.
he
Three
sat through
hours with
Howard
Joe
Stern.
Biden and Joe Rogan, Joe and Joe.
Yeah, he sat through Howard Stern and did well there.
That would have been nice. But I guess they feared over the course of 3 hours what type of questions Joe Rogan would likely ask that most of America want to know, and whether or not they let Joe be honest and candid about it, and whether or not that might detonate Harris's campaign if people
Yeah,
knew the truth about what happened between them.
yeah. And I was actually just something I was thinking right as you had mentioned Joe Biden. Do you really think that in the latter part, I mean, for what there was of a campaign, do you think that in latter weeks, months, he actually did sabotage it on any level?
I'm gonna do the Joe Biden impression when they asked the question. He
Let's
was and he was
yeah,
leaving, and he came back and goes, and he walks off. That's what I would do. This is one of the things, Ross, that I feel like if I was a Netflix,
yeah,
what I would be focusing my time on, and I should have started doing it during election season, I would have revamped House of Cards.
Oh, I missed that show.
Because this election would have been fodder for it. Absolutely. Because my thought to your question, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when the decision from Biden to Harris happened.
Yeah,
And my question is,
and
what
more
is
importantly,
what is Joe and
all
Jill saying? in the
Who all was a
aftermath of that
part?
decision.
Yeah.
Who was
Who
involved
all
with
was
it?
a part of that decision? Yeah.
You could have ran a series just off of that, like
Yeah.
Biden getting replaced by Kamala, and you could have done a season just off of that, because I'm sure there was
Yeah.
so much juicy content as far as what's happening and what's going on in Joe's head, and thinking like, okay, you know what? I don't like this. I wanted to run. They didn't want me to run, but it's okay. I got something for you. I think, because obviously I'm not in the room. I wasn't on the phone calls. I wasn't in the text messages or emails, right? I wasn't
Right.
protecting the guy, right? Wasn't details. I don't not privy to these conversations, but I would imagine at some point, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe and Jill at towards the end of the election, they might have pulled some strings. They may have done some things or decided not to do certain things.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I couldn't understand, you're running for president as the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anybody that you can put in place that's your people to better run your campaign. Like I kept hearing this, well, she got stuck with Joe Biden's people. Well, when she wins the election, do you know how many hundreds of presidential appointments need to be made on day one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You don't have that list that you can't pull somebody to be in your campaign right now who, for
You
their
don't
own ego,
you don't have your
who because they
binders and
want,
binders of people to go
yeah,
through.
because they want the job in the administration, they'll drop what they're doing in a heartbeat to join your campaign.
Make history.
Yeah, I don't accept that as an answer because not everybody is so ill prepared like some president elects
Jeez. Wow.
who
Wow.
are reaching into
Wow.
any more names that you're scratching your head at.
Well, the one that we both had the head scratcher on is no longer on the
Right.
table. And the
Yeah.
replacement, I would assume, is a great upgrade from the original pick.
I mean, she's got experience as being an attorney general, like the actual title. So that's a plus.
Which, once again, back to the House of Cards, I want to be in the room when Trump. Don't tell me, Ross, that they didn't float her name to begin with. There was a
100%.
reason
Right.
behind Gates
Right.
being front running. Like something had that. There was some chess move made that we are not privy to, and for him to resign his seat in the process of doing it, like that doesn't raise questions. Like this is the political science in me just saying, like, listen,
Yeah,
I just want to know, like,
agree.
there's something
100%.
more going on here.
1 or 2 days before he made the announcement that it's not going to happen, he and Vance went to Capitol Hill
Mm-hmm.
pushing the idea to various people.
Mm-hmm.
So here comes the incoming vice president, who's also, at least within his party, I'll say, a liked and partially respected senator.
Likely the heir apparent of MAGA 4 years from now.
Yeah.
Yep. But keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything you just said. Exactly. And he couldn't get uh, Gates pushed through.
I think it's like I said, I think there's a strategy here. I really do. I think there is something to it. We just don't know about, because if that much baggage with one candidate's come on is getting that much attention, was it you just being petty and just coming at it to say, oh yeah, he's coming after his political enemies with this one. It's retribution. Da 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 da. Or is there something more to this? To say, hey, I'm going to push this one. This is my sacrificial lamb, so to speak, spotted and all. It's going
Yeah.
to allow us to bring in this person, maybe this one and this one, because it's, hey, in comparison to this guy,
Right.
we will quickly confirm this other one.
Right.
And as a result, you still get what you want, and you maybe reposition the guy you put up front and slide them into something else they weren't expecting.
And I've seen that talked about too, in that, there's Matt Gaetz and his long list of issues. But there's now also Hegseth and McMahon with sexual accusations.
You know they're considering Hulk Hogan supposedly for a position too, right? He might be the fitness guru.
Exactly.
I didn't know he was 71 years old, Ross.
Oh,
he
yeah.
looks good. He looks good for 71.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
I love like whatever he's doing, I'd at least be open to hearing what he has to say.
Oh, he's juicing still. I mean, come on.
You think so?
He talked about it. He did. His real first name is Terry.
Yep.
And he was back in 80s or 90s. I was getting it then. So I want to say.
You were getting what, Ross?
Playboy magazine. He was in a feature in Playboy.
Yeah.
Where they were following these WWE stars, then WWF stars around the country from gig to gig. And they were talking to Terry, and you have no idea who the hell Terry was until later you find out it's Hulk Hogan. He puts his tray table down on the flight right in front of this reporter, does a line of Coke.
Oh, God.
In his airplane seat, right there on an airplane.
Was this a commercial or a private plane?
That's what I was wondering. Like,
that's really bold if it was American Airlines.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, I used to like the Hulkster. Now Stallone just compared Trump to
Rocky
to the next George Washington.
He's here. Yeah.
I'm like, really? You've been hit in the head too many times, dude.
I don't know. Trump did go through a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it was brought on by himself.
Whether self-inflicted or imposed on him from somebody else, the man has been through a lot. More than we.
Lawfare.
I did not say the word. I did not say the word. I'm just saying, over the course of the past 12 months or so, listen, if another candidate went through something similar, you fill in the blank.
Like Barack Obama?
As far as if they went through something similar, do you think that they probably would have still persevered and won the election? I don't know.
You mean like Barack Obama?
I didn't know how many assassination attempts happened with him.
Not that you saw, but I'll tell you what.
I would absolutely credit those who protected him. And if you were one of them, thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. What's Lars saying here? That would be better than boxing show. I think he's talking back to
hashtag bring back House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cards. I've probably somebody's got to be doing something.
I heard they're already making a statue of Trump. They're making it someone's making a 2-story statue of Trump. They're already in the works.
Where?
It was on Facebook somewhere. But
yeah, that's where you can stay too.
But yeah, they should make a movie about this election, and they should make a movie about Trump. I truly believe somebody's in the works of doing that.
Dennis Quaid just starred as Ronald Reagan.
Who's going to be Trump? I mean, if we did something with the
other convicted felon, Alec Baldwin.
Okay, Alec Baldwin back in the news again for calling Americans uninformed as far as the reason why Trump won. Yeah, the same guy that last time I checked
shot somebody accidentally.
I let you fill in the blank there. So
Yeah.
now that you
Oh
said
yeah.
that,
Yep.
that's the
And, yeah.
guy that we're going to
Let's
take credit for saying we were misinformed.
He wasn't. Well, I guess he knows what it's like to be misinformed.
So
I
he's
thought this gun was
understanding us.
unloaded. That's kind of misinformed.
Oh gosh. And then there was a talk about Sharon Stone. Remember her
Yeah.
saying something similar about like Americans, 80% of them supposedly don't have a passport. They don't have the knowledge of what's happening overseas. They don't have that sort of fluency as far as like, that
I
culture of living out abroad, and they're just so homegrown. Um,
would just watch now. I guess Jimmy Kimmel does it. Before it was, I mean, maybe Jimmy Fallon does it too. But the guy that really, I think, made it a popular bit was Jay Leno.
mhm.
When he would stand, he would either he actually did it, but now they have like their interns or whoever standing out on Hollywood Boulevard or out on
Oh yeah.
42nd Street, just asking who's the
I remember.
president.
I remember Jay used to do that. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And somebody once said Africa was a country. And you know, and what border, what country borders the United States here? Minnesota.
I remember somebody said like, I can't stand Trump. I'm moving out of America. Where are you moving to? Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it used to be another country, and it is not Trump friendly. So you're kind of getting enough going there.
I mean, I'm just
Oh,
saying this, at some point I would think that hopefully Democrats learn that it's probably not a good strategy to defame, slander, criticize, and call your opponents outside of their names, whether it's trash, misinformed, not seeing the world, stupid, hateful,
I,
fascist, Nazi,
I,
fill in the blank. That's probably a strategy. You just say, hey, let's put that to the side. Let's come up with something else.
I think that was one of the FUs that Joe Biden may have done
Oh yeah.
to Kamala right after that no name comedian gets in Madison Square Garden and cracks some joke about black people eating watermelon and Puerto Rico being floating trash and all the things that would have just ended the campaign right there.
I'm sure his career has not been
Joe
canceled.
Biden uses the same verbiage
Which
less
one's
than a
worse?
week later.
Which one's worse, a no-name comedian or this sitting
With the
president of
sitting
the United
president
States?
that's no longer that could be running for reelection and isn't.
It's like, thank you, Joe.
And somebody told me that. Let's say it was you. You told me about the Joe Biden thing,
Hmm.
and I'm like, that wasn't Joe Biden. That was the no name comedian. I think it might have been actually Matt and Blake. No, that was the no name comedian. That wasn't Joe Biden. Like, no, Joe Biden said it right after. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh Jesus, really? Of all the
Checkmate.
ass crazy thing that Uncle Joe does and says, you got to do that. And that unfortunately goes back to solidify my argument all along. I think he's fine. And I think that is, like I said, it was an FU
Once
to
again.
Kamala and or maybe not just to Kamala, or maybe not to Kamala at all, because like you said, we don't know.
Hmm.
But to somebody who pushed that decision that I think clearly he didn't agree with.
Hashtag bring back House of Cards, Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the funny part
Or
about it too, Ross, is
we just sit and watch The Simpsons because they get that stuff right 20 years before.
I know, but House of Cards for me as an adult just seems more entertaining than seeing
Oh
cartoons
yeah.
do it. It just
And I
seems
think
more like this could be real life here.
is what do you do with Kevin Spacey's character?
You find a
Is he
replacement if
has,
you don't bring him back, or
no,
why
but
not bring him back?
He's apparently right, exactly. He's apparently beat the rap on all the sexual harassment stuff.
Bring him back.
So, but don't just bring him back. Like, how is he coming back as a former president, a former one-term president that is now running for re-election, like somebody else we all know and love?
Yeah.
Or
You,
is
you,
he the crazy guy like Joe Biden,
no.
who could have maybe run for re-election, but we're going to drag this out a little bit. We're going to force him out,
Mm-mm.
but he's
You,
not going to be totally out because he's just a media magnet, like two people we know and love. What do you do with his character, and at what point do you do it?
you make Kevin a parallel to Trump. You come up with the storyline as far as like why we haven't seen anything from the last season up to now.
Right.
I could
Well,
see him do like his like
sure.
monologue, looking at the camera, saying like,
Right.
everything gets screwed at a certain point, and sometimes you have to figure out what the f you're gonna do next. Something
Right.
tells me that we found an opening. Like I could see it where you don't have to call him Trump, just have his same character and have a similar storyline parallel to what Trump went through post 2020. I think that'd be the greatest because people could follow along, and then you can input certain elements that people might think, did that really happen with Trump? Could that have happened with Biden? I don't know, but you have enough creative liberty to kind of input that in the series that
Right.
has people coming back each episode to figure out what happened next.
Well, and I think Hollywood finds their sources to do movies like Reagan
Mm-hmm.
and W.
Mm-hmm.
With Josh Brolin.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Wasn't there another one recently?
I was going to ask you if they done one for Obama yet or not, but I don't know.
No, but you know what I'm thinking of? The Menendez brothers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kyle and Eric.
They did that one. Yeah.
I mean, that's an old one too. So you're digging stuff up to do that one. You're going back before the
Mm-hmm.
internet.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
possible.
that's why Lars is saying about not really having as much of a grasp as what we would hope Americans would have. That's why we're on the UG.media. Go to the UG as in like underground. I don't even know what it really stands for, but that's what I tell people it is. .media. Like you can go to, let me put our website up here. Like you can go to mastiff.media for our parent company, the UG.media, and then click, they have two channels there. Click on XL. You can hear us Fridays. For those of you in Europe, you can hear us on that channel Fridays, 4 p.m. London time, which is still 8 or 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific here in the United States. And then we're on there on Tuesdays as well. The Friday show is taped. They do it for us. The Friday show is taped, and then they replay it on the following Tuesday. So, and we are, as they say, the eyes and ears of the U.S. politics for our friends across the pond. They're in London.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got about 8 minutes left, so I got to take a break quick. And then when we come back, we'll talk about what do we got so far. I think education has been named,
Mm-hmm.
Treasury,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of the big ones since last week. So 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We're going up the middle with our Trump translator. We'll be back after this. Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergz. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergz and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergz Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergz.com is got to be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergz.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergz for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergz.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergz today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergz. I've finally begun to reach out to my own listeners with Constant Contact. Use both my link and promo code CyberWeek24 and get 40% off your first 3 months. 40%. But more importantly, you'll have all the same benefits and tools that I do. All the same templates and all of the same success. So get my Constant Contact link where you get all of my links by going to Yergz.com. You still have time to reach out to your contacts in time for the holidays. Go to Yergz.com, click on my Constant Contact link, and use promo code CyberWeek24 for 40% off. Remember, you need both my link and the promo code CyberWeek24. Yergz and Constant Contact. We deliver success.
Wake up, goddammit!
So, Philip Blackett, buyblackett.com for all the coolest. I could actually see if I can enter onto that thing. Well, let's just go here. I could have done this during the commercial. So, place. There we go. There we go for coffee lovers. Get your discount. So the coffee mugs, American by birth, veteran by choice. All I need is coffee and my dog. I got my 2 laying right here.
That could work.
Beer is calling. That's key.
One of my favorites is the coffee mug that says "Wish this was beer."
Beer makes me happy. Let's see. Beer never broke my heart. No fuel, no insurance, free parking. Bite me. Are you a fisherman?
I'm not. I always wished I could experience fishing when I was growing up, but nah.
Coffee gives me power. Oh yeah. That's the coffee. Let me. Where's the category? For my dogs. Oh, there's the gym rats. Oh, guns out. There we go. Sticks and stones might break my bones, but squats will make me badass. Very cool. So go to buyblackett.com/Yergz for that. What's the saying there on the side? 10% off. and use that promo code, or it's just a slash, right?
Yep, just slash Yergz. You get actually 15% off just from you.
Very cool. Yep. Nice.
And yeah, I think you'll definitely find some items as we head into Black Friday and the holiday season that friends and family can definitely find something that are great gifts for them.
God damn it. I thought I was sharing that screen.
I thought you were too, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, do it. So, well, here they are. There's the gym rats for those of you that actually have video. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. There's the squats and the badass one. America by birth, veteran by choice. A lot of sleeveless tanks. Point being, eat, sleep, lift, repeat. Don't wish for a good body, work for it. Yeah, that's what excuses don't burn calories. Amen. Father, forgive me for these gains I'm about to receive. Yeah. Good thing comes to those who sweat. Yeah. You get the idea. That's the gym series. And then he's got dogs. I see that drop down category. Yeah, there you can see it. Okay, good. America, books, cat lovers, Christian, coffee lovers, cycling, fishing, dogs, football, gym rats, happy hour, jewelry, and teacher appreciation. Go to buyblacket.com/Yergz and get all of those things right in time for Christmas, 15% off. All right. Well, now we're wrapping up our hour. I actually got to get to some things today too, so I can't be here too long. But WDJY 99.1 we'll be back again next week with Philip Blackett, our Trump translator. I'll be here tomorrow for a solo show for Thanksgiving. And then also Friday, Matt and Blake are off for the Thanksgiving holiday. They'll be back next week. And that's when I'm buying them pizza for, I should actually send you one too. Maybe you should join us Friday of next week.
I'm open to it. Yeah.
I'm having pizza delivered to everybody's house because I lost a bet with Blake on the election. I think our actual bet was the Senate. I said that Dems would keep the Senate, and that didn't happen.
I mean, I should have put a bet on mine then. Man, I didn't know that was an option.
I forget what it was. It was the Senate, the House, the whole right versus left. I don't know, but I lost handedly. And
I could have taken the House with that 312 prediction.
Yeah. That was a good number. Well done.
I should have found one of those betting markets. Might be doing something real nice for my birthday tomorrow.
Okay, so check status. Funds have been released via ACH to your bank. Your bank processing time may vary. Click here for the next steps. 35 grand coming my way. Oh, and that's. I mean, I got a house to rebuild, as you can probably see in the background. But I mean, at least we can get started. And in fact, outside right now, our surveyors putting lines down, like where the building can be, and so on. When I want to build up and out a little bit too. But yeah. Stay tuned. That'll be an episode in the future. All right, man. Get back to your family. It's a holiday. It's officially the long weekend.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to next week.
Yep. And speaking of next week and weeks after, we got to talk about what we want to do with this, you and me on Wednesday.
Okay.
But then also, I want to tell you more about that producer that I talked to yesterday.
Yeah, that's fine.
A little bit more freely offline, and then talk about it live. What we decide we want to do.
Then our pitch to Netflix as well for House of Cards. I want a cameo. I want a role in there.
They got to come on the translating. What was his character's name?
Oh gosh, Underwood, wasn't it?
Understanding Underwood.
There you go.
And that's it. That's the Wednesday show. All right, buddy. Have a good holiday, and I'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So that's it for today. Good, quick hour. I like it when it's like that. So 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and everybody, in the Mastiff Media Network. Go to mastiff.media for more information. Go to yergz.com for show notes. If there's something there, like show notes that aren't uploaded yet or anything like that, you can always email me, news, N-E-W-Z, at yergz, yergz.com. If I'm not answering, somebody else will. That's not my email. That's a team's email. So, we'll get you taken care of. Blake will be back next week. He's the Homeless Conservative. You can find out more about him at thehomelessconservative.com, or you can reach him at Blake at thehomelessconservative.com. Matt is the host of Daily Crypto News. He's available at dailycryptonews.net, or emailing him by going to matt at dailycryptonews.net or info at deemerforcongress.com. Mars will not be here tomorrow, and like I said, we're going back on hiatus with this show, but you can still get her and book her. She knows her stuff. My God. Marcella, MARCCELLA.com. She is an amazing psychic. She said, look at what's happening to me right now. She said this would happen. Why are you not booking her? Go to marcella.com and get that done today. And then we get these. Buyblacket.com. That's the QR code. That's right up there. Buyblacket.com/Yergz to get your MAGA and American merch. David Beckemeyer is available at outrageoverload.net, and listen to his episodes. He was here Monday and interviewed me during my show, as opposed to me interviewing him. We turned the tables a little bit, and Philip and I did that last week, actually, with our Bongino episode. And this has been Up the Middle, politics for the rest of us. We'll see you again tomorrow for our Thanksgiving edition. And speaking of which, I need to write that article for the I'm brain farting, sorry. For the Boyertown expression, the Boyertown area expression. No, I'm doing this backwards. You hear me typing. Jane Stahl is another one. Is not up here. She used to be. I did some house cleaning and some reorganizing, so she's probably in one of the other profiles. But Jane Stahl can be reached. She's our Monday host. She can be reached by going to studiobbb.org. All right, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving. If you are around tomorrow, join me at the regular time, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. on our channels, except for the London one, London time, if you're in the UK. That's a regular Thursday for you over there. And we'll see you then. Have a great weekend. Have a great holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, if I don't see you until next week. See you then.
listens for 18 minutes. The average
Yergz.
fan listens for, are you ready for this? An hour and 20 minutes.
How can that be?
Answer most commonly given. I want to see what he'll say next.
All right, okay, fine. But what about the people who hate?
Yergz.
Good point. The average skater listens for 2.5 hours a day.
Look, but if they hate him, why do they listen?
Most common answer. I want to see what he'll say next.
You've changed. You know that?
Yes, I suppose I have. How about this? Peace, love, dope.